The Cleveland Browns are on the brink of a pivotal choice that could either rescue this franchise or lead to its downfall. Music, the national media is practically pleading with them to make a move that seems destined for disaster. Picture this: overlooking top-tier protection and game-changing playmakers just to grab a quarterback who could end up being nothing more than a high-priced backup. All while a young talent already in your ranks hasn't been given a real chance to shine, Cleveland is at a pivotal moment. Music and the signals from the front office indicate that a significant upheaval might be on the horizon, potentially reshaping the roster for good. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button if you're looking for the quickest NFL updates out there. Are we on the verge of a panic mode, or is there a genius strategy in play that we simply haven't recognized yet? The draft hype is off the charts, and the players being connected to the Browns are enough to drive any true fan absolutely wild. Insiders are dropping some intriguing claims, iconic music scouts are expressing contrasting views, and the quarterback room resembles a volatile situation just waiting to ignite. The most pressing question of all is straightforward. Are the Browns really going to throw away a first-round pick on a player who won't make a significant impact? Music, let's dive into the spotlight on Ty Simpson. If you've been keeping up with the news recently, you can't miss his name popping up everywhere. The heavy hitters at the major networks are beginning to make some noise. They're not just calling him a solid prospect, they're calling him a sure thing for the first round. Some of the top insiders in the league are saying that NFL front offices are really taking a shine to this kid. Reports are coming in that teams see him as a top-tier talent, and the connection to Cleveland is intensifying rapidly. But this is where it really gets wild. Some analysts are boldly declaring Ty Simpson as the top quarterback in this entire draft class. Music, hearing things like that makes you question if folks have totally lost their minds. Music, we're discussing a player that many think requires an ideal environment just to thrive. Yet, he's being hailed as the answer for a Browns team that still has significant gaps on the offensive line. Music, it really gives off that trap vibe, doesn't it? His move seems like a setback for the franchise, as it feels like they're pursuing a game manager instead of going after a true game changer, which could cost them years in development. The discussion is dividing the scouting community right in half. On one hand, there are those who believe Simpson is an undiscovered talent, a player equipped with the composure and smarts to run a professional offense right from the start. On the flip side, Music, you've got the voices of reason, like Mel Kiper, who are diving into the tape and saying, "Wait, Music, a minute. What exactly are we witnessing here?" Kiper has been quite outspoken regarding his view that Simpson doesn't measure up as elite talent, particularly when stacked against the current roster of the Browns. Music, the debate that keeps surfacing is Jones versus a less athletic iteration of Brock Purdy. Take a moment to really consider that. Would you genuinely feel satisfied if the Browns selected a player with the 24th overall pick whose potential is merely average? In the current NFL landscape, having a quarterback who can make things happen when the play falls apart is essential. A player who can break free from the pocket and create a play, whether with his legs or arm, when the pressure is on. If Simpson is merely a guy who stands around and relies on the system to do its job, he's going to get crushed in the AFC North. Today, we're facing a familiar challenge. Music, if the Browns go for a quarterback in the first round and he flops, who takes the heat for that decision? Is it the front office, the coaching staff, or the media buzz? Leave a name in the comments and share your thoughts on it. Music, but hold on, you won't believe what the real strategy for this offense ought to be. Grabbing a quarterback could seriously feel like the ultimate betrayal to the fan base at this moment. The truth is, the Browns have way more pressing issues to tackle than just searching for a bridge quarterback. When you invest a first-round pick in a player, you're essentially declaring that this player is your franchise cornerstone. So, you're saying he's the face of the organization. Does Ty Simpson strike you as a franchise cornerstone? Music, nowhere near it. The 2027 quarterback class is shaping up to be absolutely stacked with future stars on the way. Going for a SOSO prospect now, when you could hold out for a genuine blue-chip talent later, is just poor decision-making. The Browns should focus on strengthening the trenches rather than taking a gamble on an uncertain QB situation. Last year was quite the spectacle. The offensive line was an absolute disaster. Injuries stacked up. The depth was put to the test. The outcomes were pretty rough. If you lack a left tackle capable of safeguarding the blind side, it won't matter if Patrick Mahomes is in the pocket. He's going to take some hits. Building a wall has to be the top priority. Franchise-caliber offensive linemen are a must. Music, and you definitely need a playmaker in the wide receiver room who can dominate one-on-one matchups and stretch the field against any defense. Consider the prospects that could be on the board when the draft kicks off. If you get the opportunity to snag a talent, like Caleb Dunny-Styles or another top-tier playmaker, Music, you absolutely go for it every single time instead of settling for a questionable pick at quarterback. First, you construct the system. You build a setting where any skilled quarterback can thrive. Grabbing Simpson at 24 feels like a desperate choice. Panic moves are the quickest way for GMs to find themselves out of a job and for teams to remain stuck at the bottom of the division. It's incredibly frustrating to see that people have already dismissed the guys who are currently in the room or talking about Shedeur Sanders here. Let's get straight to the point. Last season, Sanders found himself in a tough spot. He wasn't even part of the strategy. At the beginning of the year, he was sitting at 4th on the depth chart. Music, overshadowed by the coach's attention on Watson and Gabriel. He didn't receive the snaps with the first team. Music, he lacked the connection with his receivers, and the offensive line definitely didn't provide the protection he needed. Music, when he finally got thrown into the action, he was playing behind second and third string linemen who were having a tough time just getting the snap off. Many of his interceptions weren't even on him. They were batted balls or passes that landed right in the hands of his receivers only to bounce up into the air. There's no way you can convince me that 7 games in a flawed system truly reflect Shedeur Sanders' capabilities. The kid displayed moments of exceptional skill. He displayed impressive playmaking skills and an innate music clutch factor that simply can't be learned. When you stack up Dillon Gabriel's performance against Sanders, it's not even close. Gabriel was the chosen one. He got those training camp reps in. Music, he had the playbook customized for him, yet he still appeared to be stuck in place. Music. Then Sanders steps in with no preparation, having never taken a snap from the starting center, and he really, Music, gets things moving. That's pure skill. That's exactly the type of player you want to center your team around, not swap out for a rookie who's just going to manage the game. With Todd Monken now in charge of the offense, the potential for a player like Sanders is through the roof. Monken is all about that quarterback who can make things happen on the run, and a player who knows how to keep the play alive and utilize every inch of the field. Shedeur absolutely nails it with that. Music. The previous system was designed for quarterbacks who prefer to play it safe with music short, quick passes. That's not the way to succeed in today's NFL. Fireworks are a must-have. A quarterback who can transform a broken play into a 40-yard touchdown is essential. Cleveland's strategy is as obvious as it gets. Music, address the left tackle spot. Secure another top-tier weapon for the passing attack, and allow the quarterback competition between Sanders and Watson to unfold. Let the top contender take the victory. If Sanders makes the jump we all believe he can, then you've secured, Music, your franchise player for just a 5th-round pick. Now, that's a brilliant move in roster construction. If things don't pan out and the offense, Music, continues to have issues, you can roll into 2027 with all your draft picks and snag your guy in a draft class that truly lives up to the expectations. The 2027 class is set to make history. There are some big names on the horizon. Music, including Arch Manning, Dante Moore, and CJ Carr, ready to make their mark. These are the kinds of players worth going all in for. In 2026, don't just grab the best of a mediocre selection out of impatience. First, Music, you construct the house, and then you welcome the tenant. If the Browns rush into drafting Ty Simpson now, they're just setting themselves up to repeat the same mistakes that have plagued this city for years. Cleveland needs to tune out the national media chatter and focus on the reality of the situation. You've got a young quarterback with huge potential who's already familiar with the setup. A new offensive coordinator has come in, and he's a perfect match for the style of play you want to implement. This draft presents a prime opportunity to address the protection issues that have consistently troubled this team. Why would you toss everything aside for a player that Mel Kiper claims isn't even the top choice on your own team? The hype could be genuine, but that doesn't guarantee it's accurate. The Browns have to stick to their plan, believe in the journey, and concentrate on the line of scrimmage. Music, if they pull that off, 2026 might just be a huge comeback year. If they fail to deliver, Music, we'll find ourselves in the same spot next April discussing yet another disaster in Cleveland. Music, listen up. You've got to watch how they manage the draft room. If they call Simpson's name at 24, Music, the reaction in Cleveland will be something we haven't witnessed in ages. Hold on tight because the latest buzz on wide receiver trade rumors is about to shake things up big time. Are you interested in me breaking down the potential trade targets the Browns could consider to support their quarterback?